I tried to keep up. I lasted about 100 meters.
So before I get my flight today, I want to run you through a little bit of what's going to be going on over this next week. So the next 8 days, I'll be capturing 4 different campaigns across 2 continents, 3 cities. It's going to be a lot, but I'm going to take you along in the process. So if I survive all of this, I will show you a complete breakdown, complete as I can be, showing you the BTS, the breakdowns, the planning, the gear, all of it. Just, oh yeah, we're not traveling light this trip. But yeah, let's see where we go. 18 hours later, finally made it. I am very, very tired, as you can probably see. It's 4 a.m. back in London, only 9 p.m. here, so I'm trying to adjust myself straight away to the time zone because we're shooting tomorrow at like 6:30, just to try and avoid some of the heat. But I thought I'd get all the camera stuff ready, get the pre-pro. I'm going to do a full breakdown of all the gear I'm using on all these trips tomorrow, because I'm tired now, but I'll show you how I have prepped the cameras for tomorrow. So we have sort of the FX3, got the FX3 on the DJI RS4 Pro. Got the little Raven Eye, which I don't usually use. You know, this thing usually collects dust. This is actually the first time I'm using it in a professional setting. But because I'm going to be following the running, I thought it would be quite easy, because you can have the Raven Eye screen or the Raven Eye camera connection on the screen here. I can select the subject quite easily. Then on the handheld camera, we have the FX6. This is pretty much rigged out. I'll probably slap a matte box on there just to add that last bit for the sun. But we've got the Sennheiser mic for audio, Portkeys LH7P for the monitor, obviously FX6, side handle, all that normal stuff. This Magic Arm here will actually be for BTS, like this stuff. Lens wise, we have the 24-70 Sigma, and I'll swap that out with 35-150. Battery wise, we have this switch which powers both the monitor and the camera. But yeah, let's get into the first day. First day complete. Overall, I'd say it was quite positive. So to break down this first project, I'm creating a bunch of stuff for Pliability. Now today and tomorrow we'll be filming with Josh Kerr, who's a 1500 meter athlete. Pliability has just signed him, so we're making an announcement video, like a short YouTube day in the life-ish. The series is called Go with the Slow. And then it's just a bunch of ads and just general, evergreen content with Josh. And after running around chasing him today, I can confirm he is very quick.
I tried to keep up. I lasted about 100 meters. Oh my gosh, he's so fast. He's doing that for 10 miles. Oh my god.
Didn't quite go to plan, because obviously we meant to film him doing quite a bit of running, but he didn't run. We did. He went out on an easy 10-mile run at a 6:30 mile pace, which is not easy at all, and you can understand why I struggled to keep up. But yeah, I just went with him for the first 200 meters and then caught them on the way back. There was just no way I was going to keep up with them, especially holding the camera. So like I showed you earlier, I ended up using the Raven Eye quite a bit for this, because it was just a lot easier to just tap his face on the screen, and then I was just running. I didn't have to think about where I was trying to position the gimbal to make sure I'm focusing him. I literally tapped him, and then it just kept him fairly framed. Like you can see, it's worked quite well. And I was always against using the Raven Eye, not because I don't like it, just because it was effort to set up, but it was actually really easy. Like you plug in 2 cables, slide it in under a gimbal, just need to rebalance it, and it was really simple, especially doing it the night before. I would actually recommend the Raven Eye system now. So once we finished off at the trail, we then went off to a coffee shop just to sit down, get to know each other a bit better, ask him a few questions, but nothing going too deep, because we knew we were going to do an interview with him later on. So just like surface level stuff to build a better rapport with him. Because obviously the better rapport you have with the person you're filming, the better it comes across, the more comfortable they are in front of camera. Then we moved into the gym, where he was having a strength and conditioning session, which was him doing like his explosive stuff, his plyos, isometrics, all the little things they do, and it's really interesting.
My left leg's gone, mate. It's fine. I'm starting to dance. This is where you have to separate the mind from the legs.
Just a walk in the park, 40 seconds?
Genuinely, it doesn't, you know what I mean? My mind, I'm so relaxed. I've never been more relaxed in my life. My legs are just, they're running away from Police down here. Look at them.
My heels want to touch so bad.
I know, right?
From there, we then went to. We were meant to go to the track to film some like stage stuff, but we decided we're going to do that tomorrow. Even though he does have a session tomorrow, but we think we can kind of do it in both. So we went to his house to do the interview. Incredible house. It was super nice for him to let us into his home and yeah, just be able to actually film that whole interview there. The setups weren't quite how I wanted them. One, because I stupidly left the adapter from the UK plug sources, so I couldn't plug in my light into his home. So kind of had to roll with that and just have this set up here in the living room. So you can see I had the FX6 as the main camera. This is a 24mm. If I would do this again, I'd probably change it to a 35-40mm maybe, but I only had the Prime with me at the time and didn't want to keep going back and forth in his house. Like it's already like 3 o'clock. I just want to let this guy alone, leave him carry on with his day. So I kind of had to go with that. And the second angle, I was kind of going floating around using the sack bag, just take the weight off the camera. But I was on handheld on the FX3 using the 24-70. We then had the boom up top with the same Sennheiser microphone, and really sure that's it. But I wanted to go back to Ryan briefly mention how he went to a coffee shop with Josh earlier in the day. Now, the reason why doing things like that is so important is just building a real rapport with the client, with the athlete, with the individual shooting, the subject. Transforms your whole filming experience. Like when they're comfortable around you, they're going to be more comfortable when there's a camera in their face. It's not normal for most people to have a camera stuck in their face. So if you're just a person, you're an athlete who only focuses on your craft, if you're just a normal businessman, if you're in corporate, so regardless of the industry you're doing this in, always try and build that rapport with the person you'll be filming just to make them more comfortable. You can always tell when someone's a bit unnatural on camera. It just doesn't go right. It just doesn't flow, and you can always see it on camera. So if you want to avoid that and you want to, have the people speaking as naturally as possible, make them feel comfortable. Like it's just not easy talking into a piece of glass. You're looking at me right now, but all I'm seeing is a black circle. So it's not normal for a lot of people. So that would be, if there's anything you want to take away from this video, which I feel like there's a few nuggets, but definitely take away just building a real relationship with the person you're filming. Okay, my bad. It is the last day today and I have a flight in a few hours and I just haven't really had time to do this video. But I'm here now so we can break down the rest of the trip. So Friday started off really well. We got up early, it was around 5:40 start. Got to Josh's house and had a morning run. This was a nice easy jog for him just to shake up and warm up his body for the day. And for this I jumped in the boot or trunk so we can get some rolling shots of him running. Now, when I was looking through the monitor of my camera, all I could think was, I can't wait to color grade this because the footage was looking so good. Having the nice sunrise in the background, the clouds, the orange of the sky coming through, the mountains at the very back, it just looked really nice seeing him run with the city in the background. For me, it's some of the nicest footage that I've ever shot. Equipment wise, I was using the Tamron 35-150 with the FX6. Now, on reflection, I wish I bought my sack bag or even just use my FX3 just to have that stabilization because the car's moving, it's hard to keep it stable, but there's the nice bits we can choose from, the slow motion bits, so yeah, we'll have enough. Finishing that, we got a small interview there, as well as the ads that we needed to record a voiceover for, just so we could tick that box. This is when the day started to take a turn.
So we have 4x400. The idea is, like, what you can average for 400s is normally a very good indicator for what you can run over 800. Want to make sure that if I'm locked in enough, then I'll be able to hit the splits, but you want to be within 0.1, 0.2 of a second of what you want to hit, and sometimes that's a lot easier said than done, especially if it's windy, but it seems nice and calm today, so it'll be good.
So the plan was to go to the track for quite an intense session. Now, Josh has been talking about the session for the past few days, and he was almost a bit nervous for this session because it was so intense. He's never done a session like this before. I think it was 4x400 splits, and yeah, it was at nearly a race pace. And the way he was talking about it, you can see he's actually a really professional athlete, saying how each split needs to be a 0.1 of a second of each other and going into the depths of it, where they can save time on the bend, all of this. Like, it was really impressive, but it didn't quite go to plan. We got to the track, everyone was in high spirits. He was showing us his custom spikes. He was, talking just about the run, what he's doing, how he's going to warm up for it. Everything was going all good. And we get to the track, and as we're approaching, everyone feels a little bit nervous because something's just not quite right. Then we go through, we're on the track, and his coach is on the other side of the track, just on the phone, just stressed. He's calling a lot of people, walking around in circles. And I'm like, what's going on? Like, why can't we get started? What's the main issue?
So today is a very specific 800 session, and which is not normal that we have to be so reliant on splits, but because it is so reliant on splits, we want to make sure we have the right weather for it. And yeah, 30 odd mile per hour winds is not the move for that. So just run a bit of an audible, run it tonight, and yeah, deal with a bit of change. It's always good to have a bit of change in the program and be flexible when it comes to these kind of more intense sessions. So that's the plan.
Now, bear in mind, it's been around 39, 38 degrees, pure sun every day for the past few days, and for every day going past this, apart from today. But of course, the day you wanted to film, the day you wanted to actually get the session done, the weather wasn't playing ball. It was about 30, 40 mile an hour winds, the rain was on and off, and these are just all too many variables and factors that were going to impact the terrain too much. So unfortunately, we had to pivot and we couldn't film the session. We did manage to stage a few bits, get a few bits for the main announcement reel. That was almost one of the purposes for the video, and just keep the ball rolling. And that's another main point that I want you to take away from this video is you can't control all variables. There's times where you do have to roll with the punches and just think on the fly. Not everything will go to plan. Not everything will be able to, go to how you initially thought it was going to. You just have to be able to pivot and move along from that. So once we write up that, and don't get me wrong, we still got some great stuff from that. I just would have loved to also get that intense session. In addition, maybe I'm greedy. Maybe I'm greedy, but it would have been nice. So we've got to the airport now around 2:30, and bear in mind our flight isn't until 6:45. So we're super early. We're there watching the England match, watching the Euros. We're twiddling our thumbs like, what do we do? We're just chilling. I ended up doing some work, editing, you know how it goes. Chopping the footage, cutting things up, and I actually made a good headway into the edit for the announcement reel because we had so much time. It gets to around 6:40 and our gate still wasn't allowing us to board. We're like, what's going on? Update the app, the flight's been delayed an hour. Now, normally, that's just an hour, it's fine. But one, we've been at the airport for 4 hours already, we want to go. Two, we have a connecting flight. So our flight was from Albuquerque to Dallas, Dallas to Nashville. And that Nashville flight was only an hour and 45 minutes after this initial flight. So we're stressed. And usually that would be fine because you just catch the next flight. But when we checked, there was no more flights until the following day. And that poses an issue because, as I said, we have more campaigns to shoot. We fly, we land, all good. I was asleep for most of the flight, it was fine. We get to the airport and we're just chilling on the runway. So what was happening? The pilot didn't say anything. No one was saying anything. We just stopped. So we're like, crap, we have 15 minutes now to catch this next flight. So we get off the plane, rush over straight to the next gate. And in our heads, we're like, if there's 15 minutes for us to get here, there's no way our bag's going to make it in time to be able to go from this flight into the sorting area and then connecting to the next one. So again, really stressed. We stumbled onto the plane, already packed, everyone in their seats, everyone's bags are in the cabin. I'm like, crap, where am I going to put my bags? I hate when you get in late and you can't put your gear in with you. You have to put it down the plane somewhere because the only free slot. Not ideal. But we get there, there's a space right above me, perfect. But I'm like, why is everyone so relaxed? 5 minutes later, the flight attendant comes and says,
for those of you who just boarded, one, apologies for the heat. The AC isn't currently working. We're trying to get it fixed.
Not okay, Dallas is very warm.
Two, the pilot hasn't landed from his previous flight.
Sorry?
We're hoping he arrives in the next half an hour.
What?
And lastly, sorry for the inconvenience. The back two restrooms are out of service, so there's only the one at the front.
So, not only is it super hot, we don't have a pilot even though we're already half an hour delayed, and there's only one bathroom for the whole plane. It just wasn't a great day. It started off so nice. Maybe I was too greedy. That nice footage has just set the whole day, but it wasn't great. We finally took off. We got to Nashville. Everything was fine. From that point, it was just a journey. We arrived, I think, 1:30 at the Airbnb, which is where I am right now. Quickly got a shower and was like, crap, we start again in 7.5 hours. Just doesn't stop. So Saturday morning, we're now filming with Tia Claire Toomey Orr. She is the 6-time world's fittest person on earth, like incredibly impressive human being. And yeah, we were filming like a general long form YouTube video with her, a day in her life, just seeing how she trains, the elements she uses, how she uses pliability to implement into her lead to the games, and just that general stuff, as well as some ads, voiceover, a few stuff using the app, just easy stuff. So for this, I wasn't as stressed because this was meant to be a lot more verite style, fly on the wall, not really interacting with her too much. One, so it's natural and it's you know, you're seeing the raw elements of her training, but 2, she didn't want to be interrupted, which is fair enough. You know, she takes her training very seriously. You know, this is what she does, this is what she trains for, this is how she makes her living. So she didn't want to be interrupted with loads of questions and, you know, loads of just distractions. So with that in mind, I approached this whole shoot very differently. I didn't want to be constantly in her face, in her way, making my presence very known to her. Instead, I was just trying to make her feel as comfortable as possible, me being there, still interacting and getting the content we need, you know, asking her questions, just so it's not just a reel of her moving and training, but also there's an element of her personality involved. So I was just trying to get a lot of her, you know, the jokes she was making with her training partners, the little bits in between each movements. When she's finished, she's had a break, she's not really in that mind space anymore, I can ask her a few questions then. So just being very conscious, and just like what I said earlier in this video, just about having a relationship with the person. Now, this is the first time I've met her. She's very liked and loved by a lot of people, and, you know, I highly respect her, but I just didn't know that much about her. I just made it my conscious effort to ask her a few questions, get to know her, make her feel more comfortable with me, even with the camera not being there. So I was picking and choosing the moments where I'd ask her questions, moments where we could go get the voiceover, get the small like social stuff, the fun stuff, just so we could still get the most out of the day without being too distracting to her. So once we wrapped that up, we had a bit of time to go see Nashville. You know, we went down the strip, we saw all of these crazy bars, everyone in their cowboy hats, the boots, you know, it was a great time. Nashville is definitely a city I would definitely come back to if I wasn't for work. Just, yeah, really cool state or city. Tennessee State, Nashville, a really cool city. So after some nice breakfast on Sunday morning, we went for a little walk again around the strip, just seeing what was happening around Nashville, came back here and just got stuck in editing. At this point, I managed to pretty much finish the entire launch video that we shot with Josh on the Thursday and Friday, just so we can have that rolling, get the feedback and start those changes so it's done ASAP. Part of the reason why I was able to finish this edit so quickly was because I was so prepared. I didn't just have a shot list, you know, mood board, everything, but I almost had like a pre-edit done before I even started the video. So looking at this, even though I hadn't shot any footage, I'd done this on the flight on the way here, I pretty much made the whole video. You know, I edited the track, I knew what the voiceover was going to be, so I just done the voiceover myself, made the timings correctly. I had that all set, so as soon as I shoot the video, pretty much is just dragging and drop in the places that I want them to. Obviously, there's a few tweaks, there's the sound design, there's the real elements of it. It doesn't all fit in perfectly, but that main bone structure was there, so it didn't take long to do that edit. So Monday comes and another plot twist. Shoot is now cancelled. Unfortunately, the athlete we went to shoot with, the golfer, he just pulled out. He wanted to, you know, practice, do a few more rounds for his competition that he had on the following Saturday, and fair enough, that's what athletes do, that's their priority. So we chilled again. We managed to get our flight brought back one day forward. So right now it's Monday. We would have been shooting him tomorrow and then flying back tomorrow night, but we're now flying back tonight. And yeah, anyway, we unfortunately weren't able to shoot with him, which I was kind of looking forward to because I've never shot golf before, and we had a really cool scope. I had a few loads of like different shots I wanted to get. Would have been a very cool project, but next time. Here we are. Yeah, you're all caught up. So going through some of the things I learned from this trip, one, only bring the essentials. I brought, I wouldn't say way too much, but I bought too much. You know, there was a few things I didn't need to bring, like this mic blimp or this big ass Satchler tripod. Like, yeah, they're useful and I can use them, but they weren't needed. I definitely could have got away with one of my smaller travel tripods and just put my FX3 as the tripod camera and my FX6 as my handheld camera, which it was most of the time anyway. I just kept sliding it on and off. So I definitely could have just saved weight because I had to pay an additional amount because my bag kept getting declined. It kept getting rejected by the flight attendant or the person at the front desk because it wasn't just overweight, so you had to pay extra. It was overweight where they couldn't take it. The limit was like 32 kilos or 75 pounds. No, 70 pounds. And every time it was over. So that was a bit annoying. So I definitely would now just make sure I'm only bringing the essentials and things that I really need and not just the extra stuff that I'm used to using at home. Secondly, to bring spare power adapters. I only brought the one because I like usually bring one, put an extension cable into that, and now I have multiple ports. That's all fine, but I ended up leaving at the hotel when we needed one for the light I was going to use for one of the interview shots. We ended up obviously pivoting and finding a way to light without it, but it was just really inconvenient not having that adapter because I was just so used to having the one at the hotel. So definitely bring spares. Additionally, the importance of having a shot list. Now, I've never been worried about having a shot list. I've never not had them, but having a really in-depth shot list just makes a world of a difference. You know, when you're on set and you don't have any assistants with you, you don't have anyone else who's helping you, there's a lot you're thinking about. You know, you're thinking about directing, you're thinking about the sign, the sound, the exposure, the camera movement, the actor. You're thinking about so many different things that you don't want to forget anything. I kind of forgot something that's quite important. We managed to pivot, we managed to, you know, find something else around it so we can add it in post, but it wouldn't have happened if I had a more in-depth shot list. So definitely don't cheap out or get lazy on the pre-pro, which I don't think I was, just didn't include everything because I'm like, oh, I'll think of it. Don't rely on that. Try to be as planned as possible. I think that's pretty much it. If you're still here, thank you very much for taking the time out of your day to watch me ramble. You know, I hope you've got some value from this. If you have, drop a brain emoji in the comments to let me know if you have got this far. And yeah, that's pretty much it. If you've got a lesson, laugh, or a like by moment, I'd really appreciate it. Drop a like down below. If you're feeling nice enough, you could hit the subscribe button, but I'll leave the option up to you. That being said, I will catch you in the next one. See ya.